I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I write and I understand. Chinese proverb. Back in 1998, I did not have the strength to cook a meal without dropping my saucepans and sometimes my dinner on the kitchen floor, and I had very little function in the right side of my body. I had been floored, quite literally, by an ongoing health crisis. As a successful consultant advising Fortune 1000 companies, I had previously owned my own business, but I'd been forced to sell it due to my disability. I wasn't even able to write my name properly, as I'd lost the use of my right hand. A few years earlier, I'd regularly walked for miles just for fun and fitness. I'd been quite athletic as a young person, a good sprinter and basketball player. Now I could no longer walk down the street in a straight line. In the eyes of people who didn't know me, I looked exactly like the town drunk. Things couldn't get much worse for the girl who had once solved everyone else's problems. In a desperate bid to recover my health, I was following conventional medical advice and taking a cocktail of prescription drugs every day as I dutifully went from one specialist to another. But my condition was getting worse instead of better. It took a mammoth effort every day to coordinate my legs and walk from the bedroom to the bathroom. I felt diminished by my chronic illness. I needed a radical transformation, and it came when a friend introduced me to writing therapy, also known as therapeutic journaling or expressive writing. At first, I viewed journaling as a means to an end. I wanted to learn to write with my left hand, but I soon noticed how it eased my bodily symptoms, especially when I wrote about them in depth. Before I started journaling about the lack of function in my right side, for example, I'd been suffering a lot with numbness and tingling in the affected areas. My right arm was colder and redder in appearance than my left arm, but over a period of time the blood flow improved and my affected arm began to look normal. Gradually the generalized numbness and tingling I felt on my right side diminished too. I also noticed improvements in my digestion after writing about my rushed approach to mealtimes and implementing some changes in my eating habits. As I continued to explore my physical and emotional distress through journaling, I realized I'd been abusing my body for years and ignoring its cries for help. I'd driven it recklessly like an automobile, yet it was actually a living organism in need of care and attention. I started to take a holistic approach to my health and introduce some lifestyle changes. Right from day one, journaling revealed my issues and helped me find solutions. I was forced to recognize my negative self-image and to discover that I hadn't dealt with the pain of my childhood. With my journal as a catalyst, I began a metamorphosis, a dynamic process of physical, emotional, and spiritual change. After a year or two of regular writing therapy, I found I didn't need the masses of prescription drugs I'd been taking, so I stopped buying insurance and saved myself thousands of dollars a year. I'm not saying everyone should do this, but it worked for me. However, the biggest surprise of all was this. Through journaling, I had found a door into my soul. I began to discover who the real Mary L. McCarthy was, an individual with unfulfilled dreams that had somehow been forgotten and buried, a person with innate talents that had not been recognized or developed. My journal entries revealed what mattered to the real me and the path I needed to take. As I got in touch with my deepest thoughts, feelings, and desires, I began to change my whole way of life. I learned to think with my heart and not just my head.